Hello, this is Faith at Faith and Books, and this is another chapter of Unexpectedly Homeschooling. The theme for today is just some fun math games that you can play with your kids that don't take any preparation. And I've played these, or a long time ago when my kids were little, I played these with my kids, and they were pretty successful, and they're the type of games that the kids, if you have more than one kid, they can play with each other. First of all, there's a tiny bit of prep for the first one. If you have any dried beans, I don't happen to have any right now, but at once upon a time I did, and you get like the lighter kind, like navy beans or something like that, you can take some dried beans out and use a sharpie or something and paint one side. So I would say get maybe 10 total, and just paint one side of each and let it dry. And then you put them in a cup and you shake them around and you toss them out on the table, and you let the kids count how many come out on the dark side and how many come out on the lighter side. And you use this to teach them number sentences. So, I mean, if your kids are really little, you would say just put 5 beans in the cup, you shake it up, toss it out on the table, and say 3 come up on the painted side and 2 come up on the unpainted side. So then you would say, well, how many are painted? 3, and then you would write 3, and then how many came up that are white or lighter? 2, and then you would say 3 plus 2, and then that is, and then they count the total of the beans, come up with 5. And so that teaches them very simple addition in a really visual kind of fun way. And then they get to shake the beans and throw them out again, and you do it again, and maybe this time it'll be 1 plus 4, whatever. And you can even eventually teach them the pattern, you know, that 1 plus 4 equals 5, 2 plus 3 equals 5, 3 plus 2 equals 5, you know what I mean. So so that's a fun thing to do. You can also use this to teach subtraction. So you toss them out and you say, how many are there all together? Oh, there's 5 beans, but 2 of these are white, so we'll take those away, and how many are left? So it's just a fun, really simple game. And if you have an older child and younger child, the older child could teach it to the younger child and play it. And writing out those number sentences really helps the kids learn how number sentences work, what they mean. What does an equal sign really mean? It means is, right? So so that's a fun game. And if you don't have any dried beans, you could take pennies, and if you have any nail polish, you could paint one side of the penny. If you have those craft sticks, if you have kids, you might have craft sticks, you can paint one side one color, and then you need to get like maybe a bigger plastic jar or something to shake them up in and toss them out. But whatever you can find that you can have one color on one side, another color on the other side, and there's something you can shake around and then toss out. And that's a fun little game. Let's see, what are some of the other ones? Of course, you can also just use dice. Anytime you use a game where they have to throw the dice, they look down and they see, especially this is for older kids, maybe it's a little easier for older. By older I mean 8 or 9. You know, when you look at those dice, or the you know, and you see the 2 6s together only have 1, then they learn eventually that 2 6s makes 12, right? Or they learn how to add, if one comes up 3 and the other one comes up 5, they know that it means 8. So playing with dice just all on their own, or in the context of a game, also teaches that automatic addition. Then another fun thing to do to sort of teach multiplication is to make a game out of composing what they call arrays. And that means that you're just putting things in rows to show multiplication. So I just stole the 4-year-old's Legos, and there's 3 pieces here, and he's 4, but he can do this, and he knows that those are 3. And then if I add another 3, how many is that? And then he can count them all up, and it's 6, and then I can say, oh, 2 3s are 6, and you can get that idea. So you can do this with anything. You can do it with pennies again. You can do it with, you can do it with cookies or crackers or chocolate chips or popcorn or whatever you want. You can, and whatever, whatever particular times table you want them to practice, like, I don't know, 8 times 6 or something. You can get, 6 rows across and 8 down, and then they can count it out and they can see the relationship. So that's another fun thing to do. And there's 2 ways you can present these games to kids. First of all, you should show them in a playful way. And then to make them more independent about it, you can do, well, I've done these 2 different ways. One is, I call a Montessori tray. I don't think I came up with that term, but you get a tray from your kitchen and you put the materials on it and you explain to them how they play it. And then you keep that stuff out of the way. And then when you want them to be doing something productive or they're bored or you have a particular time of the day where you like to bring out this hands-on stuff, you just bring it out and you put it on the coffee table or wherever they have access to it and they get to play with it. And the concept of the tray hopefully conveys that you keep it on the tray, because when time is up for playing with that, when that particular hands-on time is up in your household or whatever, then you just put the stuff away, put the tray away, and bring it out again the next day at about the same time. So that's one thing. That's Montessori trays. Or you can set up a math station in your house. If there's some low shelf in your family room or playroom, something like that, you can just put things like this there. And every day maybe you can change it up a little bit, or every week or whatever. And they just know that when they feel like it, they can drift over there and they can start playing with the stuff. The one thing you have to be strict about is that it stays there, that it doesn't migrate into their room or get scattered on the floor where people will step on it, which is why you need that tidy up time every day. But those are the 2 ways that I've done it, with the math station and with Montessori trays. And it's fun for the kids to do, and they don't even realize they're really doing math. They think it's just a game. And it's also fun for kids to do together. And then my last little suggestion is using the card game War. You can use it to teach 3 different things, maybe. The first is just greater than and lesser than. And again, when you first teach them the game, if you write out those symbols for them, they'll understand what greater than and lesser than means. So you know how you play War. You just distribute all the cards. And then people just put out a card and whoever has the highest card wins, right? So you know greater than and lesser than. And cards are nice if they have the symbols on them, so you can count up the diamonds or you count up the clubs. If the kid's young, that's nice, because then they associate, 8 or whatever the number is with the number of items on the card, and that helps. But you can also modify that game and make it so that you have to put out 2 cards every time it's your turn, and then maybe you add those things together, and whoever has the greatest number wins that hand. Or you can say they have to multiply them together, and whoever wins that hand has the highest after multiplying the 2 cards they've dealt. So you can modify War, and that's a fun way to do a little bit of math without any worksheets or anything like that, without it feeling like math. So that's my advice for today, just to have some fun and very easy games to play that build math skills. So I hope you're all staying well. I hope you're finding this useful, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.